Hello, and welcome to the second annual Empower Your Outreach Summit. Empower Your Outreach is a Freddie Mac initiative created to help new and less seasoned agents discover growth strategies to navigate the real estate industry. We offer attendees an opportunity to hear from industry leaders and trailblazers to learn about the latest homeownership trends, available affordable solutions, and ways to work with lenders and other housing professionals. The knowledge you gain is designed to strengthen your role as a trusted advisor for your clients and for the communities you serve. Today's theme is what it takes to thrive in a dynamic housing market. The market has shifted a lot over the last year, and we hear daily about a looming recession. But what does this mean for the housing market, and what are you doing to position yourself and your business for success in 2023? Today, you will discover forward-thinking business strategies in advancing affordable housing and how to reach more first-time homebuyers. You will connect and learn from experts on what it takes to thrive in a dynamic market, and you'll get insider guidance on scaling your business to make home possible. My name is Monica LaCrue, and I'm Affordable Lending Manager at Freddie Mac. I'm part of our real estate professional outreach team, and we work with real estate companies, trade associations, and local and state realtor boards to educate real estate professionals about our affordable products, tools, and resources. I'm honored that you joined us today, and I encourage you to engage with us in the chat and to connect with your peers who are watching across the US. We'd love to know where you're joining us from today. Please drop your location in the chat. Also, I encourage you to ask questions today. If we don't get to your question live, we do have a team who's collecting questions throughout the event, and we'll get back to you with answers. We will start first on how Freddie Mac and industry professionals intersect with the housing ecosystem. Freddie Mac plays a critical role in the housing industry as a thought leader and strategic partner. We provide liquidity, stability, affordability, and equality in the housing market, and we pride ourselves on making home possible for millions of Americans. And for industry professionals like yourselves, we offer education, insights, innovative mortgage solutions, technology, and free resources. But we are only one piece of the puzzle. Real estate professionals have a significant importance as do lenders and housing professionals. It's working collectively that best serves the mission of advancing affordable homeownership nationwide. To provide more insights on this topic, I want to introduce Carmen Mercado. Carmen Mercado is a senior affordable lending manager at Freddie Mac. She's responsible for managing industry relationships as part of the affordable lending team. She focuses on building awareness for Freddie Mac offerings and supporting responsible lending, providing sustainable homeownership, and improving access to credit for all borrowers. Prior to joining Freddie Mac, she was the director of strategic growth markets for a global real estate company. She started her real estate career in 2002 as a sales agent, broker manager, and trainer. She pivoted into pursuing a more corporate career path in 2011. She also served as the 2011 president for the National Association of Hispanic Real Estate Professionals. She launched the NARP Leadership Academy under her presidency, and she was featured as Housing Wire's one of the 25 most influential women in the housing economy. Welcome, Carmen Mercado.
Thank you so much, Monica, for that kind introduction. Glad to be here with you today. Freddie Mac has been a critical part of the affordable housing ecosystem and the affordable housing industry. We have been providing access to affordable lending and sustainable homeownership since we were chartered by Congress in 1970. Many of you may have not started your real estate career by then, but we are a very mission-focused organization. Our goal is to promote liquidity, sustainability, and affordability and equality in housing nationwide, despite all economic conditions. We understand the critical role and the value that you, as an industry professional, bring to the organization and to the whole entire housing ecosystem. You are helping families one key at a time, helping opening the doors to making home possible and their dream of home ownership true. My name is Carmen Mercado, as Monica introduced me as a senior affordable lending manager at Freddie Mac. I have been in the real estate industry and the housing industry now for over 20 years. I started my career, like you, selling real estate as a real estate agent, one transaction at a time. I understand the challenges firsthand, but I also understand the rewards that come with being a real estate practitioner, whether you're on the lending side or on the real estate side, and being able to turn in that key to that homeowner, whether it's their first home, their move-up home, or whether it's their first generation as a buyer within their families. All of that is possible because you are there with them throughout the transaction every single minute. We also know that you are part of that transaction even post-closing. Freddie Mac may not be a direct lender, and you may ask yourself, why is it that we're working with you today to bring this educational session at your fingertips? Well, we do understand the role that you play, as I mentioned, in the transaction with the families that you serve. We do provide liquidity to our lending partners who work with you directly and with your buyers to be able to get them qualified to afford for that home. So therefore, we are part of your daily transaction. We're just behind the scenes. But we're here to partner with you and to make sure that you are well aware of the products and resources that we have to offer. Understanding and demystifying the fact that you need 20% for a down payment when you can actually achieve home ownership with as little as 3% using a home possible loan from Freddie Mac, which is a conventional loan. So what and why and how does Freddie Mac intersect with the real estate professionals and the housing ecosystem? We know that many of the buyers, including through my personal experience, will go to you first and foremost before even understanding how to get qualified or even understanding this complex process of purchasing a property. For those of us that are in the industry, sometimes the lingo or the processes and the changes can be very difficult to understand. Needless to say, it has to be more complex for those that are not in the industry. But that's why they have you as a real estate professional trying to guide them through this journey. Some buyers need additional financial capability education, but they come to you as that first point of contact to help them understand what exactly they need to do to make the homeownership journey possible. And we understand that that's a lofty goal for anyone in America who wants to purchase a property. But we also understand that it could be very taxing on you as a real estate professional to have to be able to provide all of these services. So we want to make sure that you are equipped so that when the real estate industry comes to you, whether it's your peers or whether it's the buyer or a seller who is looking for your consult and for your expertise, that we are able to provide you with some of the resources that are necessary and needed in today's market. We want to make sure that you are positioned as a trusted advisor in the market. And we do this because we understand that when you look at the housing ecosystem, it's the real estate professionals, the housing counseling agencies, and all the ancillary services that come across that transaction, including our lending partners who are working with our Freddie Mac products to make home possible with you. So we understand that although you are not in the lending side, you do need to be abreast of what's happening. The industry as a whole, there's tons of information out there for buyers and sellers alike, but they need you to help you kind of put that all together, right? Really decipher all of the lingo and all of the transactions and everything that has to happen so that they can actually go through this process, which could be a high anxiety process, a little bit more comfortable, knowing that they are counting and relying on somebody like you that is abreast of all the products that are available, the market trends, some of the barriers, some of the challenges, but more than anything, they're looking to you for solutions. They want to make sure that you are being able to guide them through the process. I always say real estate professionals are like the center of the real estate transaction pre and post closing. I'm sure many of you get calls from your buyers as well as your previous buyers for questions as, how do I contact the contractor? Or I got this tax bill in the mail. What do I do with this? So you really are at the core of this transaction, and we understand that. So how do we intersect? Freddie Mac is really dedicated, and you've heard of insights and education and resources that we make available. We have been out there in the industry, Monica, myself, and many of my peers, really educating real estate professionals. The other thing we love to do is a lot of research and analytics, and we have a phenomenal team at Freddie Mac that does that and really equips us as Freddie Mac staff members to be able to go out there and share that with you. One of the things I want to call out is in 2020, we actually conducted a survey with over 1,500 real estate professionals that answered. You may have been one of them. That helped us guide us and understand what exactly was happening in the market at that time. We asked questions around what are some of the most important things that you want to learn about? What are some of the challenges that your buyers are facing? We asked about the buyers that you were working with. Were they first-time home buyers, first-generation buyers? Were there diverse buyers? And we also ask your tenure in the real estate industry. Have you been in the business for 5 or less years, or have you been in the business for much longer? We wanted to understand what the challenges were, not only as real estate as a whole, but we also wanted to understand your unique challenges of coming into an industry in a time that most likely was more challenging than others, where personal connections were a lot more difficult. Some of the things that rose to the top of that survey in terms of challenges from a real estate professional's perspective was really how to reach new buyers or how to reach sellers. But another thing that was very interesting is really connecting and networking with other peers. Think about it. You joined the real estate industry in 2020 in the midst of not being able to really be in front of your own peers and learn from individuals that have been in this industry much longer than you. That was a challenge. But what I will say is that the time that you spend in investing in yourself and educating yourself to be able to learn not only what's happening in your marketplace, but best practices from other real estate professionals, leveraging resources that are available so that you can go ahead and share that with your community. That's an investment in time and in yourself that would really set yourself apart. I always recommend to many individuals, please invest time in yourself. Take time to really understand the nuances of the industry. There's no better time to learn about what products or resources or just tools that are available for you as an industry professional, as well as for your consumers, than before you're actually in the middle of a transaction. You'll hear me say that if you've met me before. I always say, don't wait until you're in the middle of a transaction that may be a little bit complicated or need a little bit more hand holding to then try to find out what tools are available. So we encourage you to strive to be part of your own professional growth. And we want to be a partner in your journey. We really encourage you to look at Freddie Mac for resources, market trends, our insights, and our resources that are shareable with your consumers. We have tons of information that you can share on your social media sites. But more than that, I want you to engage with the professionals that are participating in this live event and go into the chatter, share best practices. Consider joining some of the most larger diverse trade associations out there that are focused on the growing dynamics of a diverse population across the US, such as NAREP, VAREP, NAREP, ARIA, the LGBTQ plus Real Estate Alliance. The market is changing, it's always evolving, but we are too as individuals, we're always evolving and growing. At Freddie Mac, we're committed to the outreach and we're committed to the efforts that you put in every single day. We could not do this alone. It takes an army to really conquer the homeownership journey. But with your help, we know that we can do it. I know that this information and the sessions that you'll be listening out through a whole entire day, take copious notes, be active, be participant. Then go ahead and create meetups and share this information with colleagues that may not have been able to join. And then be that leader in your marketplace of this type of information and leverage Freddie Mac as your partner. We hope to continue to educate you, to do outreach, and to really share the insights that we have to offer. But more importantly, also make sure that you're engaging with us so that we can learn from you. With that, I have the honor to introduce our guest speaker, Nuria Rivera. She is someone I have the privilege of calling my friend. I have met Nuria Rivera, and she is a transformational speaker. You are going to be delighted when you hear her speak. I know I always do. I am really thrilled to know that Nuria is a business leader and a trainer who's on a mission to liberate business owners by awakening and really looking at future of their own leadership. Rivera's efforts have helped companies create more time to their founders, increase profits, attract high-level talent, and retention. Nuria is a global workplace through leader who has won the Best of State Award for her multi-million-dollar Salt Lake City title company, Novation Title, for 6 years, boldly investing 12% back into each and every employee of her team, providing high-ticket life training, dream coaching, masterminds, financial literacy, non-for-profit work, and travel experiences, to name a few. As an immigrant from Mexico who grew up in the limited resources, Rivera, or Nuria as I call her, is now actively teaching corporations and businesses on how to synergize and incorporate feminine energy into workplace culture. As 2023 National President of NAREP, Nuria uses her success to teach leaders and employees how to listen, receive love and support while staying highly accountable to each other. By integrating calmness into high-stress environments, the thought leader has empowered individuals to reach their full potential. I have seen that firsthand. She successfully has created the tools to redesign and amplify people-first leadership and teams that scale with high record of retention in her company. She has created a movement, an evolution for future leaders. I think that you'll learn much from her, and I encourage you to follow her and to stay connected with Freddie Mac. With that, thank you so much for participating in today's session.
Thank you so much, Carmen. You're so amazing. I am so lucky to know you, and I really appreciate this opportunity to really kick off this amazing event. And a big shout out and thank you to Freddie Mac on this Empower Your Outreach. And really, I want to just honor all of you here today that you decided to show up. Obviously, growth and educating yourself, and it's a high value for you. It's a high priority for you in your life. And so I want to honor that in you, and that you're here to learn, to grow, to develop yourself. And we're going to have a great next 20 minutes. And when I spoke to Carmen initially and she invited me to kick this off, she shared with me that we really wanted to talk about just what's going on with our current market, as well as helping me being able to help you bring in some strengths and principles and ideas that have really helped me in my journey as a business owner. And first of all, I just want to put it out there that there's just so much fear going on right now in our marketplace. And you as a real estate professional, and you really are the leader in your communities to be able to get our consumers to guide them through these difficult times. And there is so much information out there. There are so many things that are out of our control that are in the media or people talking about it, where you're really the professionals, you're that trusted source. And so I want to, and it goes along with our theme today, I want to empower you to be that full on leader that you are in your communities. You are the trusted source. You are the resource. You do have the answers. And so I just want to start out by reminding you who you are, and also to help you get out of so much fear in the language that's consistently happening. But today we are going to talk about culture. We're going to talk about how I've been able to build this incredible culture within my business, with my team, and then also building culture in your community. And so, this really does intertwine, and there is a way to have it all feel integrated as a whole. It's really just a place of being. It's how you're showing up for your team, whether you have a small team, whether you're a big leader in your community, or whether you're a solo agent just starting out. And if I talk about leadership and you're telling me today that you're not really a leader, I want to fully call you forward and telling you that you absolutely are, even if you're a solo agent, because leadership starts with leading yourself first. And so, yes, you are a leader, even if you do not have a team quite yet. So start with leading yourself first. And everything's going to start with what you're thinking about on a consistent basis. So it really is the psychology that you have. It is that threshold that keeps on growing as you come across different challenges and new ones, and dealing and navigating situations that are difficult. That is what shapes you into a stronger one. And so I just want to I want to let you know that your leadership and the way that you're showing up is how you're going to set the tone for everything, and starting with yourself first. So listen, I I've grown a very successful business, and I'm going to start off with just talking about inside culture, because in inside culture, meaning the workplace, because if you want to be a change out in the world, you have to be the change internally. If you're wanting to create more peace, if you're wanting to build more wealth, if you're wanting to attract more abundance, if you're wanting to attract more respect, more freedom, you're going to have to show up in that way. And it starts internally first. So you want to change the world, change yourself internally first. And so talking about workplace culture, it's very important to understand. And I'm going to give you guys 3 tips today on how you can do that. And the very first thing is really knowing what your values and your mission are. So you have values, whether you know it or not. And you have values for yourself personally, and then you have values for your business. I'm here to tell you today that values actually run everything in your life. And so you have to get very clear with what those are for you and which are the priority for you. And whenever you're interviewing a possible candidate or even speaking with your customers, you're going to really showcase, and it's really a part of your being. So every decision you're making should be in alignment with the values that you hold for your culture and for yourself. And also remember that you promote what you tolerate. And so if you're starting to expand your team, or perhaps you have a bigger team, and if there's something that you're tolerating that is against your values, I want you to know that you're promoting that. So you have to be very, very aware and cautious with that. So making sure that, again, your values are very clear, and every big decision that you make has to be in alignment with that. And then knowing your mission, why are you in real estate? What is the biggest purpose of what you're doing every day? You have to know that, because on the hard days or on the hard months or on the hard years, if you don't have a purpose, it's not going to be very sustainable. And so that's my first tip for building inside culture in the workplace. My second tip is creating opportunity and growth for your people. So I know that when it comes to workplace culture, there's a lot of incentives that people create, and they create a fun environment. And that, I'm not saying that that's not beneficial and it enhances the environment, but having a ping pong table isn't really culture. Culture is the opportunity that you're giving to your people to be able to grow, the investment that you're making on your employees or your teammates for the possibilities. You being a leader, seeing something in them that they perhaps have not yet seen in themselves. And so leading from the heart, right? Leading from the heart and having high accountability. It's an energy of both that really creates a powerful outcome. And so that's my second tip: opportunity and growth for your people, really creating that inner place culture, and not only just having a fun ping pong table. And then the third tip for inner office culture is, and I mentioned it briefly, is high accountability. So I promise you that you can be leading from your heart, and at the same time, you can be leading from high accountability. And in fact, talent loves to have structure. Talent loves to have accountability. And so it is something that I've experienced personally that has really brought me a lot of success, and I've attracted really great people, is due to having and playing in both energies, not just being a leader from the heart and of love, but also being a leader that calls out truth, that calls people forward, and that tells them, I know you're not giving your all right now. Can you look at me in the eye and tell me that you're really showing up every day, and you've tried everything and you've given it your all? And if not, let's step it up, right? So it is where you play in both, that there's really extraordinary outcomes. And so those are some the 3 tips I wanted to share with you today on building culture. Now I want to start transforming into this, or taking the conversation into building culture within your community, and you showing up as that leader. Because right now, especially right now, you're going to have to really set yourself apart, right? You cannot be playing out there in this real estate space as just like everyone else. You are a unique individual, and there's something special about you, and there is a strength within you that is going to be so much different than your other competitors. So what is your genius, and how can we bring that out for the better and the highest good of the community that you live in? I want you guys to be able to expand your network. I want you guys to be able to continue building your client base, but that's not going to happen by you being like everyone else. And that's not going to happen by you playing at a level that is just at a mediocre place. You have to step up. You have to play full out. You have to show up in today's world doing double the amount of efforts and activities that you were used to doing the past couple of years. And so it's going to take resilience, and it's going to take for you to show up in a different way than perhaps you've been showing up. And I know I started it off with our conversation talking about fear and really getting out of fear. So when you bring in the energy of fear, you're going into the problem and you're not creating possibility. There's no space for you to create possibility, for you to tap into creativity and come up with solutions for this problem. You're going into the problem, and just even think about how you're showing up whenever you're stressed, right? We're just stuck. We feel stuck. We're going like this. You're not opening up space for you to be able to think of other ideas. So fear and creativity can't coexist. You have to get out of the fear. And once you can get out of your fear, the way you show up and the energy you bring into the workplace, the way that you bring into your customers is going to be a completely different feeling. Remember that energy is felt before anything else. And so however you choose to show up is the first feeling that your customer is going to feel. And I don't want you guys to leave today just even thinking only about how do I build my client base and how do I become how do I get more business out of my community? First of all, I don't want you to just only have satisfied customers. I want you guys to have raving fans. And how do you create raving fans? We all know that this real estate industry is all about relationships and the depth of that. And so what is it that you're doing where you're not going to have a satisfied customer, but you're going to actually create a raving fan for this to become a referral network for you? Like, what if all of your clients that you've helped serve continue to give you referrals? That is the easiest way to build your business, the most effective way, and the least expensive. And so I not only want you to think of like, how do I satisfy my customer? That's mediocre level speaking. We want to talk about how to create and build raving fans. So I also have 3 tips for you today on how to build your leadership and the way you show up in your community to be able to attract that, to be able to become that. And remember, initially I talked about you want to see the change, you have to be the change. And so it does start with you, and it's going to have to start with you. So I want you to leave this discussion in the end with some real takeaways that you can really implement into your life, that you're going to actually take action in versus just being inspired by. So we'll get there. But coming back to the 3 tips, the very first one is define your ideal client. I talk about people ask each other all the time, who's your client? And if I ask you as a real estate professional, and if your answer is, Nuria, my ideal client is anyone who wants to buy a house. That sounds amazing. And I'm sure that we all want to attract as much business into our life as possible. So I get it. But there is something very strategic about defining who your actual ideal client is, because from there, you can create marketing campaigns. You can really know who you're speaking to anytime that you're doing a video, anytime you're giving data and information and facts and resources. Like I'm a huge part of NAREP. I'm going to be the national president for the National Association of Hispanic Real Estate Professionals, which is a true honor. And I always use the resources because I want to integrate with those trade organizations in my community to become a better leader myself. And so that's definitely a good idea for you to get involved with trade organizations in your community so you can learn more about becoming a leader and you can really tap into the resources and statistics. And so become obsessed with your ideal client. We often seem to get very obsessed with our brand and our product. Well, what if you became even more obsessed with your client? That, my friends, is how you create raving fans. When you understand the pain point, where you understand their desires, when you understand their goals and their dreams and the lifestyle that they want to create with their family, you must become obsessed with your ideal client and know exactly who you're talking to. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2, from there, create a community event that is revolved around their values and revolved around the needs of your clients. An example, if your clients are very contribution driven, perhaps you can have an event that's not very costly, just at the park, and it's bring your pet day, bring your dog day, and we're also raising money and collecting food for the local humane society for animals, or a shelter, whatever that looks like. But once you start becoming very clear in knowing who your ideal client is and who's going to become a raving fan, ladies and gentlemen, this is the depth of what it takes for you to really connect with your community. And so the last tip for becoming a leader in your community is be that resource and that trusted expert. Be the person that is giving the correct data out first. Be the person that anytime that they think about real estate, you're the person that they're reaching out to instantly. And so offline communication and online communication consistently is going to help them see you and remind them that you're there available for them. And so being that trusted resource, and again, I will say one more time, is you do have resources around you, like a NAREP organization. And, we have what's called our State of Homeownership report, which is a really sought out report we put out annually. And it has a lot of data of our Hispanic community and the growth and perhaps some of the drops and the trends that are happening. And so it will help you in your projections of your business. It will help you get clear on the goals that you have, the business planning, and how to tap into your ideal clients, your raving fans. These people will become your raving fans if you begin paying attention to these principles that are really, really important. Just wrapping up here, this amazing conversation with you, with all of you today, is just really remember that giving is really a huge part of life. And so I know that right now our market's where it's at. I know you're having to work harder. I know you're having to show up strong every day, even when perhaps you feel defeated. But it's what's going to take is for you to really show up from a place of giving. How can you share your gift with the world today? How can you empower a client? How can you build the relationships? How can you really help? So come from a place of giving versus what can you take. And that's all the time that I have today. I hope that this was helpful. Please write down 2 to 3 things that you're going to implement from the ideas I just shared with you today. And I just want to thank so much my Freddie Mac family. I want to thank Carmen and just all of the beautiful people that put this together. I appreciate it. And I thank you so much.